welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's September 1st. We are in the third trimester of the year. Time just isn't real. But because we'll blink and the year's ending, I have some books that I've been really wanting to reread and just putting off for whatever reason. So I'm making this video partly to hold me accountable and to make sure that we see these books in the rest of the month's wrap-ups. And Cameron, why do you want to reread these books? Good question. It's been a year since I've touched any of these, and I just feel like what better time to reread, annotate a couple of copies that I haven't, and just find love again in some of these comfort reads. What are we waiting for? Let's jump in. Love Theoretically by Hazelwood. Top 2 favorite books of all time, and it fluctuates every day, okay? This book is about Elsie and Jack Smith Turner. Aww. And pretty much just her career in graduate school and postgraduate looking for a job, but also people-pleasing tendencies and just being adaptable and mirroring people to fit in certain situations. Also dealing with a difficult advisor, which I was dealing with at the time when I read this book, so it kind of just felt like I was seeing through all of the pages, and then to see your typical obsessed alley man in his Henley, Jack, being able to like break Elsie down and make sure that she's speaking for herself and make sure that she's just more confident overall. It's just a love story that feels or felt most like aligned with a version of me. The same with Alone with You in the Ether. Just stories that really resonated with a version of Cameron. And so it's like when you see it end in a love story, it's like, yeah, that's gonna happen for Cameron too. I usually read it every year. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a fall time read, but we're in fall now and I haven't read it, so it's time to get it read. The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I really love the way that he writes, okay? I can't remember if I think I looked it up and he's not like a psychologist, but the way he writes like he deeply understands psychology, and I really, really appreciate that. And then just some of the most unreliable narrators ever. When you have an unreliable narrator, that really ups the rereadability of a book, because you're looking for, oh, how did they trick me here? How did they trick me here? As we're settling and welcoming fall and like spooky, cozy reads, I think this is a good transition because it's still set on an island, but you still have those dark themes, right? A who did it, but they all kind of did it, so who really did it type book in the same universe as The Maidens and The Silent Patient. So it's definitely fun to see those little Easter eggs. But this is a book that will keep you on your toes. I didn't read it with the audiobook. I'm thinking I might want to do like a really immersive read. That's what we're probably gonna do. You Again by Kate Goldbeck. Now we're sort of transitioning into reads that are like really, really fallish, obviously. Just look at the cover. I think that this is a When Harry Met Sally. No, Sleepless in Seattle. One of those. It's inspired by one of those. I've seen neither. I guess if you're familiar with the story, you would also enjoy this read. Me personally, I enjoyed the sort of back and forth maybe, and the realities of the ups and downs in life and being right for someone at a time, but maybe not at this time, and needing to grow yourself, but still wanting a connection, and like the realities of what two people that are supposed to be together but still need to grow a little bit could look like. This man also had a filthy mouth. I don't think I was expecting that. This falls into that category of men that are like inspired by Adam Driver. I think the grand gesture at the end, as well as a lot of small ones throughout the book, are some of my favorites that exist in a romance. Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This is a heavier read, but again, it's been a year since I've read this. Sometimes when a read is heavier, that makes the outcome and the ending and the characters finding love that much more like, psh. I want to read a love story, and this is a love story with some harsh truth in it as well. Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I actually started this again last night. Now, this is like an OG book on my shelves. I feel like I got this years and years and years ago, even when I was tabbing. Look how far the tab's out. But this is just a story about a young girl, enchanted, wanting to have her break. She meets Corey, famous in the industry. He takes her under his wing in terrible ways, and then we kind of see at the beginning of the book that Corey is dead, and we go through the story with Enchanted about like how she met him and the events that led to his death and why. This was really going around, or I remember people talking about it a lot after the whole R. Kelly situation, because it is very much like reflective of that, like how you can be young and vulnerable and be in a situation where you think this is for the best for you, and then you're slowly cutting off your friends, you're slowly cutting off these people, and you can quickly be swept up in an environment where you're not meant to be in. This is a YA novel, but she just writes so well and so appealing across all audiences and levels, I feel like, that you don't even really realize it. And last time I read it in one sitting just because I was so captivated by it. And I just feel like this is definitely one for sure where it's been a long time, and I just want to read it again. Scarred by Emily McIntyre. Yeah, let's get into the dark romances, because hot girls read dark romance. This is a Lion King inspired dark romance. Emily McIntyre writes a series of retellings, or like reimaginings. This one is a little more heavy on your spice side. There's not really much to say other than like Tristan. They did some things that keep me up at night, and I've kind of forgotten them. I think they've been stored in my long-term memory, and it's time to bring them back up to the front. Time to refresh my mind. Speaking of dark romance, The Ritual has to be reread by me. I've been saying this all year. Riot is a character that I don't think I could ever forget. So this is a college dark romance about the secret society where you get your chosen one. It's very one of those, feminism out of the window when you read it, okay? Blakely is his chosen, and you see the ups and downs that they go through as a couple. Some of them are just outrageous. I laughed the entire time that I read this book. I also compare this to Haunting Adeline a lot, because that is another dark romance that I just don't feel like it's done well at all. But this one, there is consent. So, The Ex Vows by Jessica Joyce. Two exes finding their way back together to help their best friends with their wedding. I'll be honest, when I read this for the first time, I don't think I was really paying attention. It just wasn't really doing anything for me. But the girlies love this book. The girls love Eli and his gold chain. I do remember that. So I'm just thinking maybe it's a good time to revisit and see if it's gonna stay on my shelves or not, because it might not. Two Wrongs Make a Right by the one and only Chloe Liese. This book just feels like love and romance and a huge hug. Another one that when I read it for the first time, I listened to the audiobook, so I haven't had the chance to go back and like actually read it and tab it and annotate it. Like every single Chloe Liese book that I've ever read, so I highly recommend her as an author. But like all of her other books, it's two people like literally sharing the good and the bad parts of themselves before accepting that and acknowledging that within each other and still saying, I'm gonna choose you, I'm gonna be with you. Sometimes the push and pull of it all, or just the automatic, like we're gonna be in a couple, can take authors away just a little bit, and there's no intimacy, there's no build up, or if there is build up and intimacy, the book is like 800 pages. Chloe Liese, in my opinion, has mastered how to write a book in your typical like page length and have me feeling like I know the characters, I understand the way that they think, and know that after the epilogue they don't break up. That's hard to do. And lastly, business casual with my favorite Charlie boy. This is the last book in the Love Light Farm series, which I have mixed ratings on. This one to me is the best. Charlie, his rich pockets, his filthy little mouth, love story. It's one of those where from the beginning to end, you just feel good. Also kind of similar to Two Wrongs Make a Right. Just feel good romances. And I got halfway through the audiobook and said, oh no, I need to have this. So you can see like I tab the rest of the book. It's time to go back and finish that and annotate my entire copy. All right guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun filming it and reminding myself why I loved these books before I do read them. Make sure that you are following me on Goodreads, Instagram, and TikTok. Links for that are in my description down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Also, look how cute my copies are. This one's from Shan, and then Michaela on Instagram sent me this. Like, to be loved. She was like, yeah, I know that you love that book. I was wanting to see if you want it. Absolutely, I want it. This was the original copy that I read, and then I have 2 special editions.